welcome back with another Waitressing vlog. It is currently Saturday. It is 4:28 in the afternoon. I start work at 5, so I'm really pushing it for time. Classic Sadie style, getting ready at the last minute. You know what? Actually lie, I didn't get ready at the last minute. I was very ready. It's just that before I got my hair done, I did a bunch of TikToks because obviously I looked like Hagrid before going in. And then afterwards, I wanted to take a bunch of TikToks, like after TikToks, while I looked all glammed up with my makeup on. So that's, you know, partially my fault. But yeah, I really wanted to get some TikToks done and post them as reels also. And I just thought they looked really cute, so why not? Take it as you will. Anyway, it is 4:29 now. 1 minute later, and I start work at 5 p.m. in Surface. Tonight's booking, it is going to be a 3-hour topless waitress booking, and it is not through an agency or an industry girl in one of the groups. It is, well, I mean, she is part of one of our industry groups, but it is through my dear friend Scarlett. You guys have met her on a previous video. I think it was my last vlog, actually. We went down to Coffs Harbour together. So she's a long-time industry girl. She's been in the industry for over 10 years as a showgirl and a waitress. And she's also an OF creator as well. She's got her fingers in many pies. She's a woman of many talents. But yeah, basically she got asked to do a booking a while ago, but she has to attend to another booking. She's been working many years in a row and they asked for her, but she couldn't do the booking. So she was like, you know what? I've got a friend that's the same sort of personality as me. Yeah, so she was like, well, I have this friend who is pretty much similar minded to me, same personality type, and is also a metalhead. And yeah, that she was like, I think you'll love her. And then she asked me if I had a friend that I recommended to bring along because they wanted 2 girls. And I recommended my beautiful friend who is also a waitress. I'm on my way. I'm really excited. Apparently these guys are huge metalheads, and that is why she chose me also. So I did choose the other girl knowing that she was a little bit of a metalhead as well, because she has that fun personality type, but will know all the types of music that they're on about. So yeah, we have things in common. Yeah, I'm excited. I haven't worked last night because my poor little bossy boy had a cancer cut out of his leg. He had a big lump. It wasn't benign and we had to get it cut out. I was so gutted for him. He's been limping for the last couple of days. He's not allowed to go up and down the stairs, not allowed to jump up on the bed, which is like, you know, for bossy boy, he gets to sleep in the bed with mummy. So it's been a little bit of a crazy week. So I decided to take last night off work and not take any bookings because I wanted to make sure. I've just been like following him around the house and like just keeping my eye on him because I can't have him licking his stitches or anything. If he pops a stitch open, that's more money, and that's more than I can afford right now. It already cost me over $1,000 this week to have his surgery. So the things we do for our fur babies, hey? Anyway, I'm going to stop babbling. We are 15 minutes away from the booking and I'll catch up with you guys when we get there. Okay, so here's the deal so far. The other girl was struggling. She was just freaking out saying she can't get a park. And I was like, oh, why? And she was like, it's hectic busy. And I was like, oh, fuck. So I just called the client and I said, hey, just letting you know that it's going to be hectic busy and that the other waitress and I may be 5 or 10 minutes late. You know, just when we get there, we'll give you a call when we're downstairs. And they seemed really chill. They didn't seem too stressed out or like, oh, 5-10 minutes. Like some clients are actually like that. They're so rude. But yeah, they seemed pretty chill. And where I parked is only like a street away from where I've got to go, but I did have to pay for parking. I paid for parking where I worked last week, just under there's like, what's it called? That new pool area. What's it called? Cali Beach. Oh my God, why can't I think right now? So I paid parking underneath Cali Beach. See that bridge there? It goes to Cali Beach across the road there. And yeah, I'm pretty sure it's going to cost me like $20 or something ridiculous, but I don't care. I feel like sometimes I'm willing to pay $20 for parking if it stresses me less and I know I'm going to get to a booking near on time. So it's only 5:05. So I'm going to quickly like power walk as fast as I can, like Kath and Kim style. And yeah, I'll call the client when I'm downstairs.
Let's go. Yo, I'm like an addict, do I gotta have it. I ain't even playing, got a really bad habit. If it moves, gotta grab it, fuse like a magnet. Lose, won't have it till I'm doomed in a casket. I ain't playing, got a weird mind. If you work 8 hours, I'ma work 9. If the shoot tastes sour, you should taste mine. I'ma stay in power for a long time. Get up, nah, I ain't a quitter. Toss me the ball, I'm a really big hitter. Big picture, I'm a straight killer. Rising the song to the highest bidder. Got juice, got gas, I'ma move fast. New shoes, new tracks, like who's that? I'm new, come back, better than last.
That works.
Sweet.
Yep, we're good.
Thank you. Morning guys, it is now the next day. It is Sunday. Yeah, so let's do a little recap of what happened last night. So you could hear like all the crazy guys yelling in the background or music going on when I was taking short clips for that booking. Basically, I called the client on a private number just to let him know that me and Zora, the other girl that I was working with, were having trouble trying to find a park near the booking because it's in the section of the older part of Surface, like where those high rises were that they booked. With where that hotel was, I knew there was a car park, like an undercover car park really close by, like literally a street away. Unfortunately, it's like usually $20, $25 on the weekend, but sometimes I'm just like, you know what? I would rather just pay it and be stress-free than, you know, trying to drive around in circles and work myself up like all, you know, anxiety-ridden. I called the client off a private number again because he said, just let me know when you get here. He seemed really chill about it. And then we got there and he was like, oh, I'm like, do I know you from somewhere? And he's like, oh, yeah, I was going to say the same thing. Like, I feel like he's like, I've met you somewhere. And I was like, oh, I was like, did you go to Good Things Festival? Because me, Zora, Scarlett, and a bunch of the other girls, we all went together and we went to go see all the heavy metal bands. And he was like, yeah, I did. And I was like, did you come say hi to Scarlett? And he goes, yeah. And I'm like, I was there. Like, I was right next to her. And I'm like, I was the blonde girl. And I'm like, did he not recognize? Oh, no, I had a full face of makeup on. So I'm like, did you not recognize me? Like, and he's like, yeah, maybe that's like, that might be it. And then he was like, no, I still think I know you from somewhere. And then I was just thinking like, oh my God, like, where does this guy know me from? And I was like, shit, like, I hope he doesn't know me from my real life, you know? Then all of a sudden we get up to the hotel. He goes, okay, girls, like, here's your money each. Let me know if you need anything. And we just explained the rules. And then we said it's this much to upgrade to nude for the last hour and this much for lap dances if you want to spoil the buck. We're getting ready and that. And I was just like still thinking in the back of my head, I know this guy from somewhere. And we get dressed, we go out and we're like, hey guys. Zora goes out to the balcony to introduce herself. I go to the kitchen. There's guys in the living room. I think there was like maybe 20 guys all up. And so we were like introducing ourselves to everyone. We introduced ourselves to the bar, gave him a big hug. He was such a big sweetheart. Yeah, all of a sudden I'm talking to this guy and I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, so how long have you known Scarlett for? And he's like, years, you know, like years, like probably about 10 plus years. He was like, that's where I know you from. And he was like, my Bucks party. I was like, you had a Bucks party? And he goes, yeah, 2 years ago. And I was like, oh. And he was like, it was like and I was like, where was it? And he goes, on the Gold Coast. And I was like, where? And then he told me the suburb. And I was like, oh. And I was like, I definitely think I'd remember that. It was at a house, like not an Airbnb. And I was like, oh yeah. And I was like, oh, was there a bunch of heavy metals there? Like heavy metal heads there? And he goes, yeah. It was like, you guys have a band, right? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, there was a sound room and stuff. And he goes, yeah, that was us. And then I'm like, and your friend who organized it, he was like cooking the whole time. I was just like, wow. I'm like, I know the exact one. And then I was like, wait, that's so funny though, because I was like, Scarlett didn't organize that booking. And he goes, oh, who did? And I said, you guys had a blonde showgirl? And he goes, yeah. And I'm like, that's my friend. It's just so funny. I was just like, what the hell? So 2 of my closest friends both have the same client without even knowing. And then he was like, must be a metalhead thing. Super grateful when I saw that this client was the same client, because I was like, great, these guys are going to be the same. Started off with a game of beer pong, it all up. And that was hilarious. We're having so much fun. And then Zora was walking around pouring shots in guys' mouths. And we found this random, in the apartment, there was this like antique cabinet with all this china. And one of the items was like, it looked like an Aladdin lamp, like you rub it or something like that. I was just pissing myself at the fact that they grabbed it out and they were like, look at this, like it looks like Aladdin's lamp. So we grabbed it. I hope they cleaned it after this and put it back nicely, but we started pouring like vodka shots and tequila shots into it, and then we'd be pouring it into the buck's mouth. It would be like a shoey almost without the shoe, but like, yeah, it was like an Aladdin's lamp. It was so funny. He was like down on his knees and we were like pouring this like tequila shot into it and tipping it into his mouth, and everyone was in stitches just laughing so hard. And out of all the items in the apartment we could have shotted into his mouth, like it definitely didn't occur to me to go to the china cabinet and grab this weird looking lamp thing. The party was pretty smooth. The only thing that wasn't smooth was that we were trying to upgrade to nude and go nude for the last hour and then get lap dance money. Kept going to the same group of men that were like kind of hidden in the corner, and they were like talking amongst themselves, and they were like, so how much all up? And we were like, it's this much each. So I broke down the prices so they knew how much everything was. But I was like, ultimately this is what we need to get things going. And they were like, but do you guys do shows? And we're like, we don't do shows. I was like, you guys booked waitresses, but I was like, we can do lap dances in the other room. We just can't do it in front of everyone else. They were like, well, can you do it in front of everyone else if we pay extra? I'm like, yeah, we can, if you all pay this individual price each. And they were like, oh, that's a lot of money. I'm like, yeah. So you might as well just organize the lap dance and then get us naked so that everyone can see us naked for the last hour. And they were like, okay, let's do it. And we're like, that amount, easy, we'll get it, you know, don't worry, come back to us in a minute. Literally half an hour went by. I checked on the person who was organizing it. He was like, to be honest, like I haven't even spoken to anyone. I was like, babe, time's moving. I was like, I know you're having fun, but let's organize it now so that you can get back to partying, we can get back to hosting, you guys can get us naked, you know. And then he was like, oh yeah, of course. And he goes, well, what time is it? I'm like, it's, you know, it's like getting on, it's like, you know, 6:30 from 7 till 8. Ultimately, like we want to be naked. It's just like, yeah. And I'm like, well, that's why I'm letting you know now, because we need to sort the cash out so that we can get naked, you know, for the last hour. And he was just like, oh yeah. So I watched him walk off to 2 other guys, and they were talking about it. The problem was that no one had physical cash and everyone had lots of money, but the thing was one guy had the whole amount and he wanted to transfer it to me. And I said, that's fine. It's just like, yeah, the thing is, like, I've got the money, but I don't want to pay for everyone if they're not going to pay me back. He goes, they say they will, but they probably won't. He goes, he's like, I don't even know half these guys here. And I was like, but you know the buck, right? And he was like, yeah. And I'm like, think of him. Like, you know, I was like, you want to have that little extra experience. And I was like, and you guys didn't book a showgirl. So I was like, this is the next closest thing, you know, he'll get that entertainment. Like, yeah. Half an hour went by. It was into the next hour. And I was like, this is not happening, is it? Lo and behold, the guy that booked me originally, the one who I did his bucks for him 2 years ago, turns around and goes, look, I have the whole amount. But he was like, I overheard you talking to that guy. And he's like, I have this much for the lap dances. He goes, can you guys do the lap dances? And we're like, yep. He goes, it will be private, right? And I'm like, yeah, it's going to be private. And he goes, can I pay for a double lap dance? Like both you and Zora on him at like once sort of thing. We're like, yes, let's do it. He ended up paying for the lap dance because that's all he could afford, but he really wanted it for the buck because he's friends with the buck. And so, yeah, he gave me the money and then we went into the other room. We gave the lap dance to the buck. He was so sweet. Such a lovely man. So gorgeous. And me and Zora, we were just like, yeah, we know what to do because we've done lap dances together before. I think 3 or 4 times now we've done double lap dances together. Came out and we only had like maybe 25 minutes left of the booking. So we're like, right, let's just fucking ride this through. We can do this. Guys were starting to get really drunk at this stage. There was a few guys that spilt their drinks everywhere. So I was getting the mop out from the room and I was mopping the floor, mopping. Then towards the end, there was one guy who was super overtly confident and decided to just strip and take his pants off. And one guy turned to me and was like, what do you girls do in this situation? Because like the guy who was naked kept coming up to me and he was like, hey, get away. I said to him, I was like, I'm cool with him being naked as long as he doesn't come near me. I was like, if he keeps coming near me, that is a form of sexual harassment. And he was like, yeah, right, yeah, obviously. I was like, he's fine to do whatever he's doing. And I said, there's always one that just feels confident enough to just strip off. They're face drunk in front of all their friends and just like walk around with their dick out. This guy did not have much going on for him. And then two of the guys at one point had to stand in front of me and Zora because he kept trying to come up to us and cuddle us and shit and come up behind us and just being silly, like obviously not trying to physically touch us or anything like that. I don't think he understood that that is a form of sexual harassment, what he was doing. The guys kept barricading us, like, get the fuck away from the girls, like, I don't know what you're doing with your dick out, like, put your clothes back on. And he just wasn't listening. And then all of a sudden he was like, I'm gonna do the worm. He's just doing the worm on the tiles, and we're like, oh, his member was just slapping the ground really hard in awkward positions, and it looked really uncomfortable. Me and her just looked at each other and we were just like, and with that, we are out. And the organizer was just like, fair enough, like, all good girls, hope you had a good time, la la la, thank you so much for your services. Like, he was so nice. And then we went and got changed and came out, and we're like, let's just wave, we're not going to go in because this guy's still running around naked. But all in all, like, the clients were really good, I'd say. They were just a crazy bunch. We were walking into the elevator and we were like, oh, we'll press ground and see if it works. Do we need a fob, whatever? And then all of a sudden we look up and we see the buck, and he was like, are you girls going? And we're like, yeah, babe, we're finished. And he was just like, oh. And he was just had this look on his face, and we're like, oh. And we just like ran out for another hug, and then he was just like, oh. And we're like, have a good weekend, have the best wedding ever. And he was just like he looked so sad to see us go. He was such a sweetheart. So holy fuck, I've been talking for so long. Yes. Anyway, cash cow. So this money is minus $50 because part of the deposit got paid by bank transfer, but I'm actually going to see her on Wednesday. I'm pretty sure on Wednesday we're going for a walk together. So I just told her to bring the cash then. So yeah, I'm missing $50 from this pile. So just take that into account. The cash count for the booking from 5 till 8 p.m. Topless, we ended up doing a lap dance on top of that, was 50, 100, 50, 200, 50, 300, 50, 400, 50, 420. I don't know why I said 50, 420. 420, 440, plus $50 is $490. Bad for a 3-hour shift. I really would have ideally liked to upgrade to nude because that would have been a good amount. But yeah, this is what I made for the weekend. I didn't work last night. I didn't work on the Friday night, which sucks, but I had Bossy Boy to look after, so I had no one else to look after him. I'm going to be chipping into my savings again this week. I'm just on a hustle this week with OF. So I've got, without showing you too much, I've got like this little Kmart journal. I've got this one. It's like, it says 2023. I've made it specifically for social media. So this is for YouTube. This is for OF. I basically just made like to-do lists on every single day of things that need being done, like deadlines, content days, editing, and then marketing. And I've got weekly habits as Insta post, reel, stories, link. So link is like when I put my OF link in my stories. And then I've got Twitter, TikTok, Reddit, schedule for OF, free and paid page, chat on OF, and then Telegram messages. I'm new to Telegram. I'm really new to Telegram. But I've got a few people on there that want to do stuff like retweet for retweet and just resharing out each other's stuff on social media. So that helps as well. Any engagement and marketing helps. Yeah, it's a big list and I'm doing these things daily. And the habit tracker helps because you can tick them off as you go. It's just a little reminder to make sure that you're doing them. Hope that you guys are enjoying my vlogs. I have missed filming and I'm glad I'm getting back to it. It's 2023 and we are here for the hustle mode. If you guys are liking my waitressing vlogs, please like this video. If you guys aren't subscribed already, please subscribe to my channel. It helps so much. I am not yet monetized. I really would like to get to 1,000 subscribers. So head over to that button and click that notification bell so you guys get notified every time I upload. And I will see you guys for my next waitressing vlog in the next video.